Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mountain Lake Journal. I'm Tom Halleck. This week, North Country Congresswoman Elise Stefanik makes her first public comments on the impeachment inquiry during several town hall forums that she held this past week across the 21st District.
Thank you, everybody, so much for the opportunity to be here today.
In Malone, Congresswoman Stefanik took questions from about 30 people at AMVETS Post 8, including several about the impeachment inquiry underway into President Donald Trump, which, as a member of the House Intelligence Committee, Stefanik is playing a significant role.
I want to know if you think it's appropriate for a president to solicit aid from a foreign government for a re-election campaign.
I don't, and it is illegal. In the case of the phone call with President Trump and President Zelensky, I'm glad that that was released to the American public. In that case, I think the president was encouraging Ukraine to take on its corruption internally, and I don't think it rises to impeachable offenses.
So as more comes out, then you would be open to listening to that information?
I look at all the facts. And I think, especially in this case and at this time when there's so much discussion over impeachment, making sure that it's transparent is important. I was one of the first members to call for the release of the transcript of the phone call. I want all of the witness testimonies to be released to the American public. I think this cherry picking and really, pushing out excerpts through the media is not the right approach. I think the American public should have the opportunity to look at all of the information.
Stefanik has accused the committee's chair, Adam Schiff, of cherry-picking bits and pieces of evidence and depositions. She said while the whistleblower's identity should remain protected, all of the evidence should be made public. And she also called on Speaker Nancy Pelosi to hold a formal vote to start the impeachment inquiry, which is what the House of Representatives has done in the past.
And what I think I hear you saying is that the transcript that was released, and you read that and you still don't believe that he asked a foreign government for help in this election. Is that what you were saying?
That's correct. So in his conversation with President Zelensky, he talked about corruption in Ukraine, and I am concerned about corruption as Ukraine tried to work with American officials in terms of finances with Hunter Biden. We should look into that. I think the Department of Justice should look into that, and that's questions that Hunter Biden should answer and Joe Biden should answer. But in the conversation with President Zelensky, as President Zelensky has said yesterday morning, there was no quid pro quo, I don't think it rises to impeachment.
Stefanik said Congress needs to deal with other pressing issues, like the president's decision within the past week to withdraw the remaining U.S. troops from Syria, which Stefanik, who is just back from a trip to the Middle East, believes could be a grave mistake.
I've spoken out against the president's really rash decision that I think is going to have long-term implications and long-term consequences for our national security. I think it's important that we stand by our partners and allies, particularly the SDF and the Kurds, who have been partners when it comes to combating ISIS and combating terrorist organizations. I am concerned, as I said, of the long-term issues of people not thinking we're going to be there for the long haul. And one of the issues, particularly in that region of northern Syria, is there is a prison that's holding about 11,000 very hardened ISIS fighters that's currently being sort of manned and protected by the Kurds. As the Turks are crossing the border and already have crossed the border, the Kurds and the SDF will focus on that counteroffensive, therefore leaving the prison. I'm just concerned about those ISIS fighters getting out and being able to reestablish parts of the caliphate.
Other questions at the forum covered a range of issues: struggling dairy farms, limits on reassigning Border Patrol agents from northern New York to the southern border, also legalizing marijuana and Medicare-for-all, both of which the Congresswoman opposes.